Okay, so let's begin. Okay, so we're doing the strength stuff today. So we might be using the bands and the dumbbells. But we're still going to do the warm up first. Okay, so still marching on the spot to get our heart rate up and also just to move our joints. Okay, start from the neck, as we usually do. Okay, chin down, okay, chest down, stomach in, okay, and opposite, stomach out, chest up, okay, and looking up. Okay, let's do about 3 times. So curl everything in, okay, and curl everything kind of back. Breathing out, okay, and then breathing in. Okay, that's left and right. So looking side to side, okay, looking side to side, using our shoulders a little bit more. Looking side to side, turning our hips a little bit as well. Yeah, same thing on the outside. Okay, side bending, we're just going to maybe stop our feet for a second, tuck, kind of just tilt your head sideways, okay, and then try to tuck our shoulders down, okay, and then push our hips out. Okay, so all three levels of the spine, so the head, the upper back, okay, and then also the lower back as well. Okay, so just kind of reach with the hands as well, okay, and deep breath in. Okay, maybe one last time. Okay, and let's go backwards a little bit more. So we're just going to reach up and also backwards, pushing your hips forward. Try to bring your heart up to the ceiling. Let me just fix the camera. Okay. So bring your chest up to the ceiling. Deep breath in, pushing the hips forward. One side. Okay, and let's move the hips. So we're just going to do place the hands in front of your hips joined. So you should try to squeeze your fingertips by bending forward. Okay, so not bending from the spine, but bending forward from the hip joint. Okay, so you should feel less space in the fingertips. Okay, maybe one more time, or actually maybe two more times. Okay, and one more. Okay, just let other people in. Okay, and let's go back to the shoulders. Okay, so just turn everything in. Okay, and then turn the thumbs out. Okay, so breathing out. Okay, breathing in. Okay, one more time. So try to rotate the wrist, the elbow, and the shoulders. Okay, and then opposite. Okay, one last time. And let's just bend the elbows. Okay, at the same time, let's also bend our knees. Okay, so with both arms. Okay, and just one of the legs. Okay, and opposite, palms down. But continuing. Okay, let's move the wrists and the ankles at the same time. Okay, you're just going to push on your toes and bend the wrist down. The opposite, try to pull your wrists up and your toes out at the same time. Okay, alternating back and forth. Okay, let's go side to side. So you're going to tilt your fingertips one way, and then you're going to tilt your ankle in the same direction. Okay, so just kind of go back and forth a few times. Okay, and let's go in a circle. So we're going to rotate one hand, okay, and then rotate the other ankle. So you can probably easier if you just stand on one foot. Okay, rotating just opposite and same ankle, and same thing on the other side. Okay, let's do one. We're gonna lift one leg up. If you need to hold on to something, get a chair or a wall. Okay, and we're just going to see if you can just rotate or tilt your hand and the shoulders back and forth. Okay, so I'm going to rotate the foot and the hand in. Okay, and then try to push the hand and the foot out. Okay, but the elbow and the knee kind of stays in the same place. Okay, let's try the same thing on that side. So knee and the elbow stays roughly close to the body, okay, but you're pushing the foot and the hand out. Okay, bring your foot and the hand inside. Okay, just back and forth a few times. Okay, let's go in a circle now. So we're just going to, focus on the elbow and focus on the knee. Okay, so then bring one knee and one elbow up. You're gonna bring both of them outside, okay, and then back there. Okay, so bring them close together and up to the side and back in. Bring one more time. Okay, and let's try opposite direction. So bring it, draw a circle inwards, 2, 3. Okay, and same thing on the outside. So we go out first, bring it up, in, back down, 2, 3, other way, both knee and elbow up, bring it out, okay, and back down, 2, 3, okay, and shake your hands. Okay, let's go on to the fingers and the toes at the same time. Okay, so you're gonna lift all the toes up. Okay, my foot stays on the floor. Okay, and it's gonna be on your thigh. Okay, you're just gonna pull your fingers off your thigh. Okay, but your palm stays connected to your body. Okay, and then try to do the opposite. Make a cat claw, scratch your thigh, and scratch the floor at the same time. Okay, try to spread all your toes apart and also spread all your fingers apart as well. Okay, and we're gonna lift just our big toes and just our kind of thumbs as well. Okay, this might be a little difficult, but see if you can also draw a circle with your big toe, okay, and your thumb at the same time. Okay, opposite, gonna keep the big toe and the thumbs on the connected to the body on the floor. Okay, and just try to lift all the other fingers and all the other toes. Okay, and just say everything else again. Okay, so let's go on to the strengthening stuff. Okay, I'm just gonna grab a chair, sit on. Okay, so still gonna work on just review the basic movements again. So still the least way think of it still front of the body for the upper, so for the lower leg. It's the quads or the thigh muscle, and also the back. It's the hips, which is the back. Okay, so let's do the basic one first. We're going to do practice the squatting movement, and then we'll make it a little bit harder afterwards. Still, feet a little bit wider than your hips, toes pointing out slightly. Okay, bending for the hips. Okay, and also bend for the knees. Okay, and just kind of have your hands out in front for balance. Okay, so let's practice a few times first, and make sure your knees are over your toes. Okay, so let's do about maybe 5 times. Let's call this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, shake it out. Okay, so now today we're going to play around the tempo a little bit, or the timing of things. So we're going to slow down how we go down, and then try to speed up the way going upwards. Okay, so working on that power or working on that speed as well. Okay, so I'm going to take a little bit slower going down. Okay, so slowly go pushing your butt back. Okay, when you reach your bottom, we'll pause for about a second. Okay, and then try to go normal speed or a little bit faster coming back up. Okay, so we're gonna try this let's try about 8 times. Okay, so slowly going down. Okay, pause and up. Okay, number 2, slowly down. Pause. Okay, and up. Okay, so you don't have to go down all the way, especially if you have knee problems, just go down a quarter way or halfway. Okay, or whatever level you feel comfortable with. Okay, so pause and out and going up. Okay, number 4, slowly go down, pause, and up. Okay, 4 more times. Pause, okay, and up. Okay, 3 more. Pause, up. 2 more. Pause, up. Okay, 1 last time. Pause, and up. Okay, so we don't always have to increase the weight to make it harder. We can also play around with making things slower, pausing, and also making it faster as well. So just something to think about. Okay, so that's for the thighs. Okay, so let's do something for the front and upper body as well. So let's do a pushing movements. So today, let's try the same thing. So we're gonna do a wall push-up or countertop push-up. If you have a sturdy desk, you can also do that as well. So we're gonna practice this 5 times normally first, okay, and afterwards we'll play one and same. I'm gonna just use this so I'm sideways and then see. Or again, you just wall push-up. Okay, so let's practice first. So hands maybe a little bit wider than your shoulder. The important thing is your body should be in a straight line. So don't have your hips too far back. Don't have your hips already dangling forward either. It should be a kind of straight line from your heel to your shoulders. Okay, so we're just gonna do 5 kind of normal pace push-ups. So it's maybe 1 or 2 seconds in, and 1 or 2 seconds back. Okay, just to warm up the shoulders a little bit first. You usually want to kind of breathe in as you go down, okay, and breathe out as you come back. Okay, so now we'll do play one at the same time. Okay, so we're just going to slow it down on the way towards the wall or towards the desk. Okay, pause at the bottom for about a second, okay, and try to push ourselves back up a little bit more quickly. Okay, everything still applies. Make sure your shoulders don't get pushed forward. You really just make sure your shoulders kind of down and back. That's how we stabilize the shoulders and keep it stable. So let's give it a shot. So same position as before, whatever you're using. Okay, we will slowly down, pass the bottom for a little bit. Okay, and wobble a little bit. Okay, same thing, going down, pause, and up. Okay, number 3. Slowly in, pause, up. 4, pause, up. Okay, 4 more times. Okay, so make sure your elbows are not flared out too much as well. Try to keep it maybe 45 degrees kind of point in. Okay, once again, keep your body in a straight line. Okay, and up. Okay, 3. Okay, pause and up. Okay, so faster, slower is relative. So it's up, relative to yourself. Okay, so it doesn't have to be like very fast. Okay, just faster than what you might do normally. First. Okay, last time. Pause and up. Okay, shaking it out. Okay, let's repeat these 2 exercises one more time. Okay, so still about 8 times each. Once again, slowly down, pause, and faster. Pause. Okay, shake things out. Okay, spine out stance again, so wider than the hips, toes pointing up. Make sure your knees are on top of your feet by pushing your hips out. Make sure your back is in a straight line as well. So same principle. We want our spine to be in neutral or in a straight line, more or less. Okay, so having your hands can be just whatever again. If you want to make it more difficult, you can also grab weights as well. Okay, so slow down. Okay, make sure pay attention to where your weight is, so it should actually be closer to your heels. Pause and up. 2. Pause and up. 3. Pause and up. So going slow, sometimes you can pay more attention to things. So sometimes I stretch to myself left too much. So I can make sure that my up, make sure my weight is equal between the 2 legs. Okay, and up. Okay, let's do 2 more. Okay, and up. Okay, one last time. And up. Good stop. You can still feel, you should still be feel the fatigue maybe in the legs a little bit, even though we're not using too much, using no weight at all. Okay, so let's go back to the pushing. Same idea, also about 8 reps. Okay, fine. We work our hands, a little wide in the shoulders. Okay, hips is in line with the body. The heel can be off the ground a little bit if you want. Okay, still down. Elbows kind of forward like to use there. 2. Pause. Up. 3. Pause and up. 4. Pause and up. 5. Pause and up. 6. Pause and up. 7. Pause and up. Okay, last one. 8. Pause and up. Okay, and just shaking things out. Okay, so now I'm going to work on the back of the body. Okay, we'll work on the hips first, and then also the spine extensors, the muscles that make our back straighten, and then we'll work on the upper parts a little bit. So let's grab our bands. You can also grab weights as well, but we'll be doing the practice and deadlift movement. Okay, so deadlift is the one where you are bend over and pick things up from the ground. Okay, but without squatting too much, because we can't reach too low if our knees are bent. We actually need to straighten our legs out a little bit so that we can kind of reach close to the ground. Okay, important thing is you bending from the hips, not the back. So we don't want to be rounding the back like so. Keep our back nice and neutral. Okay, just bend from the hips. Okay, so similar theme going on, whether you're doing squatting, doing push-up, doing the deadlift, our back is always the same shape, which is similar to how we should be when we stand. Okay, so kind of straight up. Okay, so a little bit closer stance compared to a squat. So we'll be hip width apart, or you can go a little more narrow as well, but hip width usually more comfortable. Okay, so let me turn the sides a little bit. Okay, so once again, bend from the hips. Okay, probably need to bend it back a little bit. Okay, and we're just going to go up. Okay, and going back. Okay, so probably just should we're not going to play around the timing with this one. Okay, so let's just aim for about 10 to 15. Okay, so let's go 3. Try to squeeze the hips forward a little bit. 4. But pay attention to what your back is doing, what your knees are doing. Let's try to push it back a little bit. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So probably feel like a fatigue in the back of the leg or back of the butt. 12, 13, 14, and 15. Then that's second 2 reps. Okay, so let's work on the back muscles, back and shoulders a little bit. Okay, we're gonna do a straight arm pull back, a straight arm roll. So you're gonna have just sit close to the edge of the chair until you can have one foot on the ground. And okay, it's a little closer together so the other leg is not in your way. But you're gonna start off 18, okay, with our straight back. You need to keep your arms straight. And you're just going to, instead of holding the arms back, you're going to focus on squeezing the shoulders backwards. Okay, so my hands don't go back too far, but I'm just focusing on squeezing the muscles in my upper back. So Don't worry about where the hands are so much. Focus on switching the shoulders back and back. Okay, and just try to even hold the back apart a little bit. So instead of going backwards, think of going wider as you squeeze your shoulder blades together towards the spine. Okay, so that's number 3. Okay, so go wider and squeeze your back together. 4, 5, 6, slightly different angle, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so hopefully primarily in the middle of the back, maybe slightly in the back of the shoulders. If you feel like there's a lot of tension in your neck, you might be struggling up, or you might try to pull it upwards. Okay, so it's as low as you can. Try to keep your hands low, shoulders away from your ears, and just focus on kind of puffing your chest forward or squeezing your shoulders back. Okay, that's relax for a second. Okay, and we're going to go back to the lower part of our back, so hips, the hamstrings, and a little bit of the low back. Okay, so back to the hinge position first. So feet a little closer together. Okay, if you want, you can make it shorter now, or you can stand up first. Once again, keep your back straight as you push it back. Make the band tighter as you see fit. Okay, still chest up and just saying up. Okay, so 2, 3. Let's try to keep your shoulders down and back as well. So don't let your shoulders kind of back forward. See if you can pull your shoulders downwards, move backwards. Okay, so 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 8, 5 more, 11, 12, 13, 14, 7, sit it back. Okay, so in between, feel free to relax your back if you want to. So we don't want to be like this all day long either. Okay, just when we're lifting something heavier or doing exercise, then we want to make sure our back is kind of nice and tall. Okay, and just repeating the pulling one, just 1 set. Okay, so feet closer together, one leg on the ground. Okay, focus back straight. Okay, focus on squeezing the shoulders back. Okay, and your hands, you can just try to make it go wider. Okay, but not further back. Okay, and try back. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, try to keep your shoulders down. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 50. And just shaking things out a little bit. So those are the 4 major movements: push, pull, squatting, and lifting from the hips. Okay, so now we just work on these smaller muscles of the body. So let's do the band of rest first, and let's do the calf muscle first, or lower leg muscle first. Okay, so we're gonna go to the back of our chair. I like to put it on one side because my chair is a little shorter. If you have something high up that you can hold on to, just feel to put it anywhere really. Okay, so you're just gonna stand on more or less one leg, okay, but the other foot is just gonna be kind of a little bit bent. Okay, so just for balance, not really pushing on the floor. Okay, so the leg that's close to the chair is the straight one, and it's the one that's kind of working. Okay, so what we're gonna do is just gonna push ourselves up on our toes, okay, and then slowly back down. Okay, so this leg is just kind of dangling. You can lift it up all the way up if you want to as well. Okay, but try to push up on your toes, okay, and slowly back down. Okay, so you should feel on the back of the lower leg. Okay, so 3, 4, 5, 6. If you want to make it harder, don't drop the heel all the way to the ground. Okay, just let it kind of hover at the bottom. Okay, I think we're at 8, 9. Okay, let's do a bit about 10 to 12, 8 to 12, 11, 12. Okay, so a smaller muscle we probably can't do too many. So stick to 8 to 12. And let's do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so still standing on one foot more or less. Okay, chair on the side of the straight leg, so you can kind of, at least for me, I can lean over a little bit, hold on. Okay, maybe push up a little bit using my hands if I need to. Okay, so 2. And once again, you can choose to not go down all the way down to make it harder. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Just shake things out a little bit now. Okay, so let's have a seat and we'll just go back to the upper body. Just do one of the smaller muscles. Okay, so let's do the back of the arm. We're going to do it a slightly different way than we have done before, just so that you have more options. Same setup as when we did the pulling, the row before. Okay, but this time you are just going to start off a bent arm, and then your elbows is roughly maybe a little bit behind your ribs, but not so far back that you run forward. Okay, so elbows is slightly behind your side. Okay, what we're going to do is that you're just going to keep the elbow there, and you're going to focus on squeezing the tricep, which is the back of the upper arm. And the action should look like you straighten arm. Okay, and we're just going to hold it for a little longer. Okay, and then coming back. Okay, so we're going to try holding for 3 seconds each time, and we'll do 5 repetitions. Okay, so let's try to straighten the arms out. Okay, focusing on straightening the elbows out. I'm holding for 3, 2, 1. Okay, and okay, same thing. Elbows doesn't move, okay, but it does straighten out. 3, 2, 1. Okay, and relax. So you're not pulling the arm back. The arm pretty much stays in place. A straight elbow that's straightening out. Okay, and 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's do 2 more times. Okay, straighten out. 3, 2, 1. Okay, one last time. 3, 2, 1. Okay, and So once again, we're playing around the tempo a little bit. You hold it for longer, that kind of works. But as you have to really focus on straightening out. If it's more bent, you might not feel as much. So try to really imagine pushing the knuckles down to the floor. Okay, and we're going to repeat once again. Please go. Back to the calf raise, a single leg calf raise. Set one leg, holding the chair on the side of the leg that's on the floor. Keep pushing upwards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Gotta pay attention to which part of your foot or which of your toes are applying, pushing down the ground. Okay, so some people might kind of roll your ankles out to the side. Some people might roll in. Okay, play around to see which one you do. Okay, and maybe start to change a little bit so that it's more even. Okay, so I think we're somewhere around 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay, can be pretty tiring. Ready? Same thing on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Have taken a seat, rest of the legs. And get ready for the tricep extension. It's what we might call physical exercise. So once again, elbows just slightly behind the ribs. Elbows straighten the elbow. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Okay, make sure you're not holding your breath. So even though we're squeezing everything, our ass will be tight. Still take breath in, breath out. Okay, maybe shorter breaths. So you might not be able to take a full breath in, but we should still be breathing in and out. Okay, so on the first breath, 3, 2, 1. Okay, once again, pay attention to what your shoulders are doing. We don't want to be doing something like this. So we're sitting tall. Okay, straighten the arms out. 3, 2, 1. Back. Okay, last one. Straighten it out. 3, 2, 1. Okay, and straighten time. Okay, we have about minutes left. Okay, so let's do some stretches and we'll call it a day. Okay, so let's stretch from the bottom. So let's find a wall first. For the bottom is up the calves. Okay, so when I find a wall or just anything you can put your toes up on, I'm going to use my yoga block. You can use the wall, chair, step. You're just going to raise your toes up, and you're just going to lean forward. Okay, your weight over your foot until you feel a stretch in the back of the lower leg. You just probably should hold on to something for support. Get deep breath in out. Same thing. Leg. Okay, let's go to the back of the leg. So since we're standing, we'll do a standing version. Kick one of your legs forward. Push your butt back. You can still support yourself in the chair as you need to. Okay, but you still feel a stretch behind the leg. You should hold here for 15 to 30 seconds. Okay, same thing. Leg. Just kick one of them, put a little more forward. Okay, let's stretch the front. This one, let's stretch more of the quads today. So you can see if you can grab your ankles. If you can't, use another chair. You just kind of prop the ankle up. Still try to lift your belt buckle up. Push it a little forward. Give you a stretch in your upper thighs. Keep on. Grab ankle on my foot. Feet on the other. Hips. This is our usual one where we bring our foot up, hugging our knee, holding it towards our chest. Switch legs. Okay, on to the back a little bit. Okay, so we're just going to lean onto our elbows a little bit. Okay, I'm just going to put some there. Tuck the chin in a little bit. Okay, just get a deep breath in. Okay, just try to imagine breathing into your back. As you take a breath in, your back should get bigger. Okay, one big breath. Okay, and let's go to the upper back and the shoulders. So reach across, reaching underneath the elbows, pulling it close to our chest. Just double checking how much time I have left in this meeting. Okay, and same thing on the other side. Okay, lastly, we're just going to tuck our chins, head sideways. Just move your shoulders up and down a few times. Go the other way. Okay, same thing, going up and down. Okay, and shake it out. Okay, and that's all the time we have. So for today, thank you for coming. See everyone next week. No problem. Bye bye. Good night.